What's inside Jakarta, the big durian? Exotic fruit lovers may recognize the spiked, pungent fruit known as durian. It's the fruit of Indonesia. Despite its smelly reputation, durian's magnetism, lure and flavor pull you in so much that once you've tried it you'll be hooked. The fruit of Indonesia is much like the nation's capital, Jakarta, loaded with spiky skyscrapers and pungent congestion of the metropolitan city atmosphere. Yet inside its shell is a fascinating city that packs a lot of flavor and keeps you in its rapture. When it comes to fast-paced growth, very few cities in the world can be compared with New York, which is fondly known as the Big Apple. Jakarta's fast-paced growth has made it the Indonesian equivalent of the Big Apple, and hence the city is known as the Big Durian. Historically, the culture in Jakarta is a melting of various cultures, characteristics of Javanese, Malaysian, Indian, Arabic, Chinese, and so many more cultures can be seen in its architecture and cuisine. The population is exceeding over 10 million in a 700 kilometers area, making it the 7th most populous national capital in the world. One little known fact about Indonesia is that it is to be one of the world's most active Twitter cities, and so much so, that in 2015 Twitter opened one of its official offices in Jakarta. The average resident of Jakarta owns 2 cell phones, and there are designated selfie stations set up on street corners and in the mall. Speaking of malls, Jakartans are crazy shoppers. There are about 130 shopping malls scattered all over Jakarta city, which are over the top and extravagantly filled with high-end stores and fine dining restaurants. Jakarta's climate is hot year-round, but if you don't mind the heat, and if you are teaching in Jakarta for at least 1 year, you must plan to visit the Thousand Island, a cluster of 76 coral islands where you can dive and snorkel off the coast of Jakarta. Do not miss the fish and try to spot as many as you can. After all, there are no less than 144 varieties of fish in the Thousand Islands. Jakarta is not only a vacation spot. Expats in Jakarta generally are employed in oil, gas, telecommunications, engineering, and education sectors. The process for getting a work permit and visa for Indonesia is often arduous. There are strict rules regarding giving employment to foreigners due to massive unemployment already present in Indonesia. If you are able to get a job, housing is relatively cheap, with apartments available for less than 200 Indonesian rupiah, 14,000 US dollars. Jakarta is a real melting pot with many communities and cultures and is the center of Indonesia when it comes to economy, culture, and politics. The primary religion in Indonesia is Islam, which is reflected in the architecture and cuisine. Jakarta has not necessarily been put in a favorable light over the last few years, and you might think it's not a safe place to travel due to media overexposure of violent crimes. Violent crime is quite uncommon. Most of the crimes are non-violent and involve pickpocketing and credit/debit card fraud. Another tip would be to be cautious before and during the Ramadan, with theft and pickpocketing spiking at this time. There is pressure of providing gifts for family members and obtaining money for the Eid al-Fitr holiday. The short of it is that you need to use common sense in protecting yourself and your belongings, as you would in any large urban destination. In that sense, Jakarta is no different than a Bangkok or a Ho Chi Minh City. Be sensible, and Jakarta is an excellent destination for your travels. The nightlife in Jakarta is vibrant and unpretentious. With a wide variety of bars, clubs, and other late-night venues, it holds its own against the upmarket establishments in Singapore and the underground party scene in Bangkok. For most places there is not a strict door policy as you might expect in Singapore, giving it a relaxed and rebellious attitude. A few nightclubs to check out are Genja, Immigrant, Dragonfly, Fable, and Blowfish. Jakarta is also a great destination for music lovers without the desire to party till the early hours. The Big Durian also hosts entirely a few major music festivals such as Java Jazz, We The Fest and Jakarta Warehouse Project, most of them carrying international names. If you are looking for something more local, check out Archipelago Festival. Also in terms of art, Jakarta is making waves, with Art Stage Jakarta receiving critical acclaim in the last few years. The food and drinks are as diverse as the cultural melting pot would suggest. There is truly no shortage of availability of something to eat or drink, with pretty much any budget covered. Food stalls can be found everywhere you turn, and if street food is not your thing, you can see most international food franchises in Jakarta. Indonesian dishes might not immediately come to mind as favorite cuisine, but nasi goreng and rendang usually feature in most top foods lists. going to a good restaurant will also be lighter on the wallet than Singapore or most Western cities. And if you like shopping, you will be able to get your fix. Like most of Asia's top cities, malls have been appearing everywhere. Jakarta is no different with 173 malls, more than any other city in the world. The Jakarta malls are huge, comfortable, and filled with shops. If you want entertainment, most of them will also house a cinema. And as we were talking previously about food, don't forget the food courts in these malls as well. And if the hustle and bustle of Jakarta is a bit too much, just remember that paradise is only a few hours away. There are several flights a day to get from Jakarta to Bali, where you can unwind from the sensory overload of the Indonesian capital. And if Bali is too touristy for you, there is Lombok, which some call the New Bali. Yogyakarta is your destination if you want to experience something authentic and majestic. It has numerous art galleries, museums, heritage structures and street art spots. This friendly city. It is also home to 2 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, the Hindu temple of Prambanan, and the Buddhist complex of Borobudur. If you want to embark on an adventure and are a nature lover, consider Flores. The island is known as the jumping-off point to the islands of Komodo and Rinca, which are home to Komodo dragons, the largest lizard species in the world. The dragons are pretty impressive, let me tell you. A real gem is Belitung, a little-known destination east of Sumatra. It is renowned for its crystal-clear waters, white sand beaches, and a rich underwater life. Given its low-key charm, it's perfect for wanderers looking for a laid-back holiday amidst breathtaking views of the seas, capped by a beautiful sunset at the end of the day. If you are moving to Jakarta or coming for a short stay, it is a destination with many treasures to uncover. And when you go, remember the big durian. It might be a bit much at first, but if you persist, you will love it.